Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at Tablemon. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be playing with Arceus Goodra Vstar this time around, featuring the build that got top 16 at the Peoria Regional Championships. I was definitely not expecting this deck to do this well, but turns out it has a pretty decent Lost Box matchup and can deal with significant parts of the metagame. So it's very cool to see it do well. Definitely didn't have a lot of faith in Goodra Vstar initially, but the rolling area attack does have its merits, doing 200 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 80 less damage from attacks. And then you also have the Moisture Star ability, allowing you to heal damage from this Pokemon. However, it is competing with the very powerful Starbirth ability, where you may search your deck for any cards and put them into your hand. Most of the time we'll be using that in order to try and set up. But if we don't, then we definitely can use Goodra Vstar to power up, to heal, which is fantastic. Now we do have Crystal Cave and Hyper Potion to heal ourselves as well. Also have Big Charm and Big Parasol, especially Big Parasol. As you might have seen in one of my previous videos, it does stop all effects on all your Pokemon, not just the Pokemon it's attached to, as long as it's in the active spot, right? So that's pretty cool. And it does protect you from Sablei's attack. We also have Radiant Carnivore to further reduce the damage from Pokemon V that our Pokemon take. And then the rest is pretty standard and self-explanatory. We are going to use Melanie to try and help power ourselves up. It also helps in case we miss a turn 1 attachment. But we have Research, Marnie, Melanie, Boss's Orders, and Avery, along with Pokegear to help us in setting up. We have Quick Balls and Ultra Balls to search for Pokemon along with Incense. And then the Hyper Potions can combine real nicely with Double Turbo to heal Goodra Vstar, and Ordinary Rod for some recovery, along with an Escape Rope for switching purposes. Let's jump in the ladder, see how this deck can do. If you're planning on buying any cards from TCG Player, make sure you use our affiliate link right here in the description of our video to help support the channel. It's the best way to do it, and it's free. Looking for PTGO codes? Photon Store has all the latest sets and promos, instantly delivered to your email. You can use Tablemon code when checking out for 5% off. Card Market is Europe's largest online marketplace for Pokemon cards. Whether you're looking for sealed product or singles, vintage or the latest sets, just follow the link in the description to find what you need. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. Alright, so we got to go first. We didn't get a very good start, but we'll manage, right? We will certainly manage here. We also don't know what we are up against. Alrighty. Oh, so we're up against Blissey. That's really bad, because a single Miltank just completely destroys this. And as I was going to mention, actually, in order to deal with Miltank and Blissey, you could play a copy of AG/V, and maybe even go out of your way and play AG/VMAX on top of that. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. I have no way to touch the Miltank, therefore, to attack the Miltank, therefore, on to the next one. Alright, so in general, I get a lot of comments in some videos like, oh, you don't have an answer to Miltank, right? You don't have an answer to Miltank in this deck or this other deck. And that is true, right? A lot of the time I don't have an answer to Miltank. But that's the thing, you don't have to have an answer to every single card that could potentially counter your deck, right? Like Altaria existed before Miltank, and you didn't see decks go out of their way to play counters to Altaria or to Decidueye even, yeah? But I will say, this week for some reason, well, not for some reason, since Peoria Regionals, Blissey Miltank has been doing really well in online tournaments, which means Miltank has been having a lot more presence, and therefore there is certainly merit to... wow, this hand is not great. There's a lot of merit to utilizing a Miltank counter, right? Because now there's Miltank in the metagame. Before this weekend, your chances of facing a Miltank were 1 out of 1,000. So you didn't need to worry about that. Okay, so that's the sort of thing that A lot of players will say, oh, we don't have an answer to this, or this, or this, or this. Like before, it used to be Circuitry GX, which stopped attacks from from special energy Pokemon, right? Or Duralton VMAX, which stops damage from special energy Pokemon. Like, you don't have to counter every single Pokemon out there, right? You just need to be able to beat or do well against the top play decks, right? The ones that you're gonna face against the most. Not every single deck, right? There will always be like a complete hard counter, most likely. Yeah. All right. Just wanted to get that out there because I'm sure some people will say, oh, but why aren't you playing a counter to Miltank, right? It's like, well, I mean, okay. I am using this list that was used at Pure Regionals that therefore didn't need a Miltank counter. If you're playing today, October 5th or beyond, right, and Blissey Miltank is an actual thing that is happening in the metagame, then sure, right? By all means, go ahead and play Miltank counters, right? Absolutely. But not before this weekend. There was no reason to play a Miltank counter whatsoever. All right. So now, thanks to the fact that we don't have any damage modifiers, I will definitely not be able to KO the active. Getting the first hit is very nice, but getting a knockout would have been even better. So we're going to research, see what we get. Also discarded both stadiums, which is a really potentially big deal. I got not a lot of good cards right here. I only have one big charm. So based on this, I feel like the big charm should go on the Goodra, right? If my Arceus goes down, it goes down, that's fine. But I certainly need to protect the Goodra in this upcoming turn. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna go ahead and Nova and power up the Goodra. I am also holding a Hyper Potion, which is very nice. There is a universe where I attack the hit, heal, the Arceus attach, and then, well, we'll see. Actually, probably not. Like heal and retreat? Nah, probably not. Okay. So Arctina Flychu is what my opponent is playing right now. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. There's the Arceus. There's another Doltaro, and there is the Goodra attack. Okay, so that's really not great. Okay. No, really not good. I mean, my opponent will have to loss zone 2 energies. 280 is so much damage, though. Do they have Tool Scrapper? That would be really devastating. And this is the thing with Goodra. Definitely struggles against big attacks. Can deal with smaller attacks, but overall, I feel like how you do well with Goodra is you dodge the big attack, right? So you dodge this sort of deck, right? Any Tina deck. You dodge Curan. And like you hit Palkia because you can limit your bench. You hit Lost Box decks because you can limit their damage output and protect. But overall, seems questionable. And there's a choice belt, so not even. Yeah, the Goodra is just completely and utterly dead right here. And the Giratina is threatening with another attack. So things are not looking very good right now. I will be able to. Yeah. I need the Gardevoir. Obviously, I didn't have a way to get the Gardevoir. Like I needed both if I wanted to have a chance at surviving that hit. Clearly, that did not happen. And yeah, I mean, I can establish the Gardevoir now. Not that it's gonna be making any sort of difference. And so it's gonna come down to, can I like out heal the other Arceuses basically. Which means I'm just gonna go ahead and attach all the energies to the Arceus for future Hyper Potion plays. Right? That's the goal. To outlast the damage output thanks to Hyper Potion and Gardevoir protecting me a little bit. We'll see. We'll see if that is even possible. Surprised I couldn't discard the energy off of the clean Arceus rather than the damaged one. But hey, who am I to judge? Path to a peak, stopping Gardevoir. Not that it would have mattered here. I'm also down all 3 Crystal Caves, so I guess now Gardevoir is a complete mute point. Complete mute point. And okay. So if I had a boss, I could go boss KO this Arceus Vstar, and maybe that would get me somewhere. But clearly I don't have boss in my hand. That is not a boss's orders. Alright, so I'm just gonna Melanie. Get a bunch of energy. There's the boss that we would have liked, but it's a little too late. Yeah. What are you gonna do? You know? What are you gonna do? Alright. I did unlock the Goodra, and I do have a Hyper Potion, which is nice. So, well, there's another Giratina, so never mind. Yeah, if that Giratina gets powered up, and they have access to the other V-Star, it's 100% game over. No questions asked. There's the other Arceus V-Star, which I get hit for 120 right now. 180, sorry. And I heal 120, I have 60 left. So my opponent needs another choice build to knock me out. Or they can just take away my Hyper Potion and put me in a little bit of a precarious situation. Alright, I got the Hyper Potion back. That's nice. They do attach to the Giratina, however. So, can they power up another one? Do they even have another one? Or access to another one? That is a big question. And the thing is, they can power up one over the course of 2 turns. Yep. So how do they spread their energy? Ooh, okay. All right. So this is where I could potentially get ahead. So they definitely cannot damage me right here. And I am holding a Marnie and a Hyper Potion, which I do need to heal. I might actually have to find my last Hyper Potion this upcoming turn to like fully heal. It might actually come down to that. Alright, at least it's no longer at the bottom of the deck. You're just holding the energy, okay. Alright, I mean, they did have 3 others, presumably. So we'll do this, and we will do this. Okay, can I find the other Hyper Potion here? That would be crazy if I do. No, I cannot. So now I just attack and win. And if I retreat, I'm not winning. I mean, technically, I can retreat and try and get it off of the next thing. I also didn't attack. We'll see. Okay, do they have boss? They have boss, they win. No, but they can also attach and power up the Giratina. That's also very scary. Okay, can I find the Hyper Potion? Nope, BD, nope. Okay. Let's get rid of you. Yeah, there was no Pokemon left. Okay, I need the Hyper Potion. No. Not quite. Alright, I tried. On to the next one. Alright, we end up getting a mulligan here. Not ideal, but nothing I can do about it. We're also going second, which is also not ideal. I swear, when I just, like, I play this deck in coaching sessions and it flows so well. I sit down and record the decks and they just spit in my face. How do you give 7 mulligans to Mew? Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Sometimes in my videos, I feel like I'm like showcasing the worst of PTCG. Like, look how one deck flows so well and the other doesn't, and therefore you don't even get to play. And that's the video. 7 mulligans on top of a arguably very crappy hand. It is what it is. Sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I get unlucky. It's easier to remember the times you get unlucky for sure. All right. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they used up a power tablet, though, gives me a little hope. What? Okay, that's another power tablet gone. Okay, that gives me a little hope in the sense that my opponent thinks that their goal is to draw cards, right? Like, what are you even Cramomatic King for at this point? You know, like, what are you grabbing? The energy, fine, but like, what? It just, the fact that they've used top power tablets and stuff is like they're not thinking about how they're going to win the game. They are literally just thinking that that they need to draw cards with chance. Like, that is the only thing in my opponent's mind right now. All right, the Avery could be good. A little risky though. Avery could be good, but it's a little risky. I will probably end up discarding Mew and Oricorio. The thing is, if I whiff energy off of Avery, I'm in a really, really bad spot. I mean, I fully expect my opponent to knock me out next turn, right? Yeah, I think I have to go with the research. I'm not happy about it, but I lose this Arceus, but it is what it is. I'm already 2 prices down, essentially, because I gave up 7 mulligans. Alright, I did, however, get the double turbo, and I can potentially make it so that my opponent misplays somehow. Alright, and forgets the damage reduction from Radiant Gardevoir. Alright, so I think I have to do like the splitsies here. So 1 water here, 1 water here, and then 1 metal here. That way, if they choose to go after the Goodra, I still have either Arceus to attack with. If they go after the Arceus, then I'm 1 energy away with the Goodra from attacking. So I think it's what I have to do based on the fact that it feels like I'm already behind, and I was already behind after I mulliganed 7 times, and I didn't get like a stellar hand. All right, a second Goodra with this bench is very unlikely. That's why I didn't bench it, but I also didn't discard it. Didn't want to overextend and maybe regret that choice. My opponent already down to 22 cards. Okay. No switch shown as of yet. And as soon as I say that, there's the switch card. But yeah, like, my opponent doesn't even take a knockout here thanks to the Gardevoir, and these two being discarded just shows a complete lack of understanding of this deck and how it works and its strengths, and the fact that, once again, the goal of the deck is not to draw as many cards as you can with Genesect every single turn. The goal of the deck is to take 6 prizes by knocking out your opponent's Pokemon, and Power Tablet definitely facilitates that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just got Marnie passed by Mew. That is actually a thing. And that Marnie will in fact allow my opponent, or that pass rather, will in fact allow my opponent to take the knockout because it shuts off the Radiant Gardevoir, so just whatever. Whatever. Alright. I mean, I still have my Vstar available. I would love to not attach this energy here, but I think I'm gonna have to commit the double turbo to the... I mean, I guess it shouldn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it shouldn't matter. Alright, here comes Goodra. There we go. In the grand scheme of things, it shouldn't matter, but it could have. So, just gotta be careful. Alright, no... Not a lot of anything in this hand. Jeez. Alright, we're just gonna Rolling Iron here. Doing 180 damage. My burst damage now is decreased by 80. So if they use this Mew to attack me with Technoblast, they will be doing 110 damage. So I should be able to survive 2 hits perhaps. And then if eventually I find my Stadium, I can also heal. So we should be in a fine spot. Or we'll probably be in a fine spot. My opponent could have also tried to win by bypassing the Goodra and going boss KO and then Echoing Horn boss KO. However, they've already used the Echoing Horn because they just really wanted to draw all of their deck on turn 1. Once again, a big mistake in my opinion. Alright. So what happens now? They counteract their own Stadium. Which is surprising that they're just holding that party, but fine. Just activates my thing. And there's a Power Tablet. Alright, they're just gonna go after the Arceus. That is honestly not the end of the world. They could also go boss, Power Tablet KO, the Goodra. Would actually be very sad and very problematic. So I know they're holding 1 Power Tablet, which is alright. Oh, now, okay, so if they don't play the Power Tablet, they don't KO the Arceus V, and I'm very sure they're gonna forget. Like, I don't know, like, I can't bet with you, the viewer. I am very, very positive they're just gonna forget to play that. I really am. Because it didn't stop them from KOing the Arceus last turn because of the path. I am 99% sure, you can never be 100% sure, but I am 99% sure that they will actually be forgetting. %99 sure. Oh, they don't. Okay. 1% unsure. So they do. go for that, which is fine. All right, the Goodra can never be one shot now. Never, ever, 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 ever. And I can win in 3 attacks, and they shouldn't have a second path to a peak, right? I mean, maybe they do with Silene, but not an actual like fully attachable path to a peak. So we're just gonna be able to oh, you know what, I'm gonna use this to find hyper potions. There we go. Rolling Iron, take the KO, 3 prize cards. I might get Marnie, I might get Roxanne out of this hand too. As long as I have my V-Star, I'm very chill about this. Very, very okay with this. The Crystal Cave is just icing on the cake. This Goodra alone will take all 6 prizes, I believe. So one thing I could do is if they bench a Mew, I could go bypass the Mew VMAX because that stops the Psychic Leap, right? Even though Psychic Leap will do 0 damage, and I probably shouldn't be worried about that, but you never know. You never know. Fairly certain I have game here. The best way my opponent could have dealt with, there we go, with a Goodra was certainly Frost Switcher into boss KO it with enough power tablets, but they exhausted that option on turn 1. So what are you gonna do? Then hitting Research over Roxanne always feels very good. There's your last power tablet, which is completely fine. With a double Ultra Ball, they can do what they always dreamed of, which is drawing a lot of cards with Ginsect. Nothing that they can find though will save them. And yeah, not have it like the awful start, which led to me not using the V-Star, means now I have a very good chance of surviving this turn and just outright winning the game. Just completely outright winning the game. Ultra Ball number 1. Goodbye Cram and Genesect for a Mew. There's only 1 Mew in the discard pile. Yeah, that's what they find. Okay, now I can't play around the Psychic Leap now, but if they're using Psychic Leap, they're not getting anywhere close to winning, so it'll be fine. It just delays my victory more than anything, because I will take a knockout right after the Psychic Leap, so it'll be fine. I cannot fathom how my opponent wins here. And this, right? Like, even though Mew, without fusion energies, Mew's damage output is actually very limited. They're very fast, I think it's a very consistent deck, but its damage output is not that great. Like, you get 1 burst with power tablets and that's it. So if you burn the power tablets early, it's even worse, right? So there should be no way I lose this match, I hope. I hope. I really, really hope there's no way. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and research away the pieces. I am able to find a hyper potion. 90 damage. I almost don't want to use a hyper potion, but I think I should just do that. Sure, let's do that because I have Melanie to recover, and then I'm just gonna attack. Yeah, my opponent recognizes that they're not getting past the Goodra. The only way they could is if they went boss the Gardevoir. No, even then. Because I have my V-Star. They can never one-shot the Goodra, so if they go boss the Gardevoir, stall for a turn so I don't have the damage reduction active, and then they boss up again and attack me for 240, then I just heal. And they can't do it again afterwards. So yeah, Goodra very tanky. If you deal with fixed damage Pokemon, very good. You do very well. If you like if you go up against Pokemon that damage anywhere between or lower than 200 each turn, or like 220 or lower each turn, you're completely fine. If they're doing more than that, it could get tricky. But if you manage to save your V-Star, you're in a fantastic spot no matter what. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like, really helps out the channel. Thanks so much for all the support as usual. especially those of you who purchase cards on TCG Player. Very easy to do. Just once you're ready to check out, close the tab, click on the link in the description, check out, boom, you support the channel in a very significant way. Thanks so much, and until next time. Bye-bye.